I feel like we as a society are so quick to jump to the whole masked lesbians are just like men thing instead of pausing and stopping and just thinking, well, am I treating them like men? I just think it's so funny sometimes when certain femme-presenting sapphics compare butches or masks or studs to men, because you can just look at them and you know, like, oh, you're treating them like men. That's where this is coming from. Like, do all of these lesbians have toxic masculinity, or is it possible, just maybe, that maybe you have internalized misogyny and you don't know how to treat a masculine presenting person who isn't a man? So the second you see this, your brain just starts to go, oh, I know what to do. I'll uphold these heteronormative standards as to how they're supposed to act because this is what I'm familiar with. Because some of you are out here acting disgusted when your mask shows any kind of like softness or vulnerability or anything that isn't like cold and strong and unfeeling, because you've set this expectation for how they're supposed to act because they present masculinely. And like, obviously this doesn't apply to every person, but I do want to like debunk this a little bit further. I want to get into this because what is acting like a man? Like, be so serious right now. What is acting like a man? What is that? Because I know if a femme-presenting person were to do the same thing that they were accusing of being masculine traits or manly traits, they would not be getting compared to a man for that. Like, if they did the same things, that wouldn't happen. For example, I think if a femme-presenting person cheated on their partner, they wouldn't get called a man for that. They wouldn't be compared to a man. It would just be like, oh, they cheated. But the second that their masculine-presenting partner does it, I would give it maybe 3 seconds before they're just like men accusations would come flying in. Like 3 seconds tops. And just to be clear, both instances are bad. Like, I'm not saying that one is better than the other, one person doing it is better than the other. I'm saying that there's a difference in the way that we handle it. The language that is used when somebody messes up in a relationship and how that language differs based on how that person presents is something that I really think should be closer examined and looked into. I think there's a lot of unpacking to do with that and kind of examining why your thought process works that way. Because again, I don't think it's every single lesbian who's doing this. Obviously that's a huge claim, but I do think that we need to examine why we say the things that we do and just kind of like really think about how damaging and harmful it is to compare members of your own community to your oppressors. Like, really think about that, please. Because it truly does reach a point where at the end of the day, you're just being misogynistic. Just because it's not the same kind of misogyny that you are used to doesn't mean that it's not misogyny. But that's just my 2 cents on the matter. That's all. Thank you. Bye.